in the presence of his counsels that in the year 2019, he was arrested by personnel of Terre Rouge CID in connection with the case of loss by means of a taser gun and forced to confess the case of Losny. The second case was reported on Tuesday, 31st of May, 2022, by Mrs. M.A.J., handy worker residing at Bejutombo, to the effect that her son, DJ, was arrested on 27th of December 2018 by officers of the Terre Rouge CID in a case of murder, and he was allegedly tortured by 4 police officers. And the third case was reported on Monday, 6th of June 2022 by Mr. K.S., age 29, stonemason, residing at Arsenal, who stated that on 1st of February 2020, he was arrested by a team from CID Terre Rouge for unknown reasons and was brought to the Terre Rouge CID office, where he was allegedly assaulted with a device that discharged electric shock. Mr. K.S. also informed that he had already reported the case to the Independent Police Complaints Commission, IPCC, in the year 2020. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that in the case of Mr. JCJPL, in view of the seriousness of the offense, the CCID took over the case for an in-depth investigation. Subsequently, on Monday, in connection with the case, namely Inspector HD, Police Sergeant PR, and Police Constable KG. And they were detained Inspector HD, Police Sergeant PR, and Police Constable KG, who were already detained, as well as Police Constable EBP, posted to CID Terre Rouge, were involved in the case. On 31st of May 2022, Inspector HD, Police Sergeant PR, and Police Constable KG were provisionally charged with the offense of torture by public official in breach of Section 78 of the Criminal Code before the District Court of Pamplemousse. Police objected to their release on bail, and they were remanded to police cell up to Tuesday, 7th of June 2022. On Thursday, 2nd of June 2022, Police Sergeant PR and Police Constable KG were interdicted from duty of August 2021 in connection with a case of bribery by public officials being investigated by the Financial Crimes Commission, that is the former ICAC. On 6th of June 2022, Police Constable EBP was also arrested in the case, and on the same day, he was provisionally charged with the offense of torture by public official before the District Court of Pamplemousse. Police objected to his release on bail, and he was remanded to police cell up to 14th of June 2022. He was interdicted from duty on 10th of June 2022. As for the case of KS, on Tuesday, 7th of June 2022, Inspector HD, Police Sergeant PR, and Police Constable KG appeared anew before the District Court of Pamplemousse. They were remanded to police cell up to 14th of June 2022. On 7th of June 2022, pursuant to Section 10(2)(b) of the Independent Police Complaints Commission Act of 2016, the 3 cases of alleged torture were referred by the police to IPCC for continuation of the inquiry. Subsequently, on Tuesday, 14th of June 2022, Inspector HD, Police Sergeant PR, and Police Constable KG appeared before the District Court of Pamplemousse anew. Their counsels made a motion for their release on bail, and the bail hearing was fixed for Friday, 17th of June 2022. On that day, the representative of the IPCC did not object to their release on bail. They were subsequently granted bail after having furnished a surety of 20,000 rupees and entered into a recognizance in the sum of 100,000 rupees each. As regards Police Constable EBP, he appeared before the District Court of Pamplemousse anew on Thursday, 16th of June 2022. His counsel made a motion for his release on bail, and the representative of the IPCC did not object to his release. He was subsequently granted bail after having furnished a surety of 20,000 rupees and entered into a recognizance in the sum of 100,000 rupees. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the IPCC that in accordance with Section 16(1)(b)(1) of the IPCC Act, after completion of investigation, the Commission referred the case of Mr. JCJPL to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions on 7th of December 2022, with the recommendation that the 4 police officers involved be prosecuted for the offense of assault in breach of Section 231 of the Criminal Code and for the offense of violence by public officer in breach of Section 86 of the Criminal Code. On 7th of April 2023, the DPP requested the IPCC to proceed with further investigation. Thereafter, on 23rd April 2024, after further investigation, the IPCC referred the case anew to the Office of the DPP, which on 7th of June 2024 advised prosecution against Inspector HD and Police Sergeant PR for the offense of assault in breach of Section 231 of the Criminal Code and for the offense of violence by public officer in breach of Section 86 of the Criminal Code, and recommended disciplinary proceedings against Police Constable B and Police Constable KG. Mr. Speaker, sir, with regard to Mr. DJ, the case was referred by IPCC to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions on 19th of January 2023, with the recommendation that 5 police officers involved be prosecuted for the offense of assault in breach of Section 231 of the Criminal Code and for the offense of violence by public officer in breach of Section 86 of the Criminal Code. On 2nd of February and 14th of July 2023, the DPP requested further investigations into the case, following which, on 20th February 2024, the IPCC referred the case file to the DPP, who has now informed that the case is under consideration. Mr. Speaker, sir, with regard to the case of Mr. KS, I am informed by the DPP that between 22nd of June 2022 and 23rd of November 2022, there were exchanges between the office of the DPP and the IPCC. Following further investigations by the IPCC, the Commission referred the case file to the office of the DPP on 9th of May 2023. The DPP advised prosecution against 6 police officers for violence by public officer in breach of Section 86 of the Criminal Code and for the offense of assault with aggravating circumstance in breach of Section 228(1) of the Criminal Code. On 27th of June 2023, an information bearing cause number 4430/23 was lodged against the 6 police officers before the District Court of Pamplemousse. On 29th August 2023, they pleaded not guilty. Thereafter, on 11th of September 2023, the case against the 6 police officers was fixed for trial for the 16th of April 2024. And on that date, the trial was postponed to 8th August 2024 and 12th August 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am additionally informed by the Commissioner of Police that on Wednesday, 30th of December 2020, a USB stick which allegedly contained video recordings of police brutality was remitted to the police. On Wednesday, 6th of January 2021, the USB stick in sealed cover was remitted to Mr. R.K., former Assistant Superintendent of Police, posted to CCID, who was directed to immediately initiate an inquiry. On Wednesday, 1st of June 2022, the Commissioner of Police set up a special inquiry team to carry out an exhaustive inquiry into the unreasonable delay in the follow-up actions after the remittance of the USB stick to Mr. R.K. Subsequently, on 8th August 2022, the team forwarded a report to the Commissioner of Police on the outcome of the inquiry, whereby it was observed, amongst others, that Mr. R.K. had failed to properly handle the inquiry on the USB stick. In view thereof, and following consultation with the DPP, disciplinary action was initiated against Mr. R.K. under Regulation 37 of the Disciplined Forces Service Commission Regulations 1997, and he was retired from the Mauritius Police Force in public interest on 21st of October 2022. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed by the Commissioner of Police that with a view to empowering police officers to exercise their duties effectively while safeguarding the rights of persons in their custody, the following measures have been taken to prevent recurrence of police brutality. Since 2019 to date, some 3,227 police officers have been provided with training on human rights principles, principles of policing in a democratic state, stress management, and other protocols on detention. CCTV cameras have been installed in police stations, and the footages are viewed regularly by station managers to uphold discipline. Scientific-led investigation is being enhanced to improve the investigative skills of police officers to carry out inquiries in a more professional and systematic manner. Accountability has been increased at all levels with regard to the movements of detainees whilst they are in police custody. Senior police officers are exercising their powers under Section 12 of the Bail Act to release detainees on parole on a case-to-case basis and to avoid unnecessary detention. Police officers departing from established procedures, particularly care and treatment and safe custody of detainees, are subject to disciplinary or criminal proceedings. And sensitization and information campaigns are organized by the Independent Police Complaints Commission in the police department to sensitize new recruits and newly promoted officers. Mr. Speaker, sir, the measures implemented by police up to now have had a significant positive impact on the performance and conduct of our police officers, as evidenced by a decline in reported cases of police brutality in recent years. This trend underscores the commitment of my government to ensure that law enforcement agencies operate diligently, ethically, and with respect for human rights. I wish to emphasize once again that my government has consistently condemned any form of human rights violation, including acts of torture or degrading treatment committed by any member of law enforcement agencies. Any deviation will be dealt with swiftly to uphold justice and accountability. By upholding these principles and implementing effective and continuous training programs, we strive to foster a culture within our police force that prioritizes professionalism, ethical conduct, and the protection of human dignity. Our ongoing efforts aim to build trust and confidence between law enforcement agencies and the communities they serve, ensuring that justice is pursued in a manner that respects and upholds the rights of every individual. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. May I ask the Honorable Prime Minister whether the Discipline Forces Service Commission has so far taken any sanctions against those who are being prosecuted by the DPP, likewise as it has done for ASP K, who was also involved in that case under Regulation 37 of 1997.
Well, the police will act according to the advice of the DPP. So if in a case it has been recommended that the matter is pursued by proffering formal charges whereby there have been any criminal offenses, then there are formal charges that are preferred, and eventually, of course, the case goes before a court for trial. But there, I have mentioned in my reply that there has been also instances where there is a recommendation for disciplinary actions to be taken. And therefore, this has been also the case, and we have seen, as I mentioned, what has been the outcome. And let me say in the case of the Assistant Superintendent of Police, whereby it was reproached that he did not take immediate action and therefore had to be retired. Let me say that that person had also sought remedy before the court to contest this retirement, and the case was dismissed, and therefore, well, that shows that the right decision was taken also.
Thank you, Speaker. Can the Honorable Prime Minister state the number of cases of police brutality reported at police stations between two different periods, one for 2005 to 2009 and 2014 to 2024 periods?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think it is good for me to provide statistics, because I have said in my reply there has been a major improvement. And let me give the figures. So in 2005, 217 cases, 2006, 183 cases, 2007, 203 cases, 2008, 290 cases, 2009, 256 cases. Now, 2014, 33 cases. 2015, 23 cases. 2016, 27 cases. 2017, 19 cases. 2018, 25 cases. 2019, 35 cases. 2020, 31 cases. 2021, 25 cases. 2022, 16 cases. 2023, 21 cases. And 2024, as at June, 20th of June, 2 cases only. Now, ceci dit, Monsieur le Président, one case is too many already, because, as I've said, we as a government, we are not going to condone any act of police brutality. But from these statistics, we can clearly see that the actions, the measures that have been taken by the police, I have detailed them, has brought results. But of course, we need to improve further on this.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Ce que je pourrais demander au Premier ministre, s'il a des informations auprès du commissaire de police concernant les teaser guns qui furent utilisés. Est-ce que ces teaser guns furent utilisés dans un contexte que ces teaser guns a été saisi et non pas déclaré? Car selon mes informations, la station de police de Terre-Rouge n'est pas un armory, office police armory. Merci.
Well, Mr. Speaker, sir, this question relates to the cases that have been reported to the police and to eventually IPCC, and what actions have been taken. That is where we are, which I have replied. Now, the honourable member is asking a very different and very specific question about a taser. Of course, I will need notice, and I can assure the honourable member that when he puts his question, I will provide him and the House with all the information. But I cannot right now just from my head just give any reply. Although I am aware about the circumstances that has led to the arrest of the in the first case, those officers. But I will need the notice of that question.
Thank you, Speaker, sir. Can Honourable Prime Minister inform the House as to the number of cases that have been, number of alleged cases of police brutality that have been reported at the IPCC and since its inception and the outcome thereon? Thank you, Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed that since its inception on 9th of April 2018 up to 20th of June 2024, the Independent Police Complaints Commission has been dealing with 4,229 complaints of alleged police brutality, including 277 former cases from the defunct Police Complaints Division of the National Human Rights Commission. Investigation has been completed in 2,375 of those cases. The remaining 1,854 complaints are still under investigation. I am further informed that with regard to the 2,375 cases where investigation have been completed, 445 complaints have been withdrawn by complainants, 232 complaints have been settled by conciliation meetings conducted by the Commission, 7 complaints have been referred to the Discipline Forces Commission for disciplinary action to be initiated against police officers concerned, 48 cases have been referred to the Director of Public Prosecutions for advice, out of which 17 cases were lodged in court. 1 case has been dismissed and the remaining 16 are still at the court's level, and 1,643 complaints have been disposed of after investigation and in line with Section 10(4) of the IPCC Act of 2016.
The table has been advised that PQB 445 will be replied by the Honorable Attorney General, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Integration and International Trade. The following questions have been withdrawn: B445, B446, B447. I now call Honorable Ganga Prasad.
B450.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in my reply to the private notice question on the 5th December 2023, I informed the House that the mode of assessment for the extended programme was being reviewed so as to introduce the school-based assessment in the evaluation structure as from the academic year 2024. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, sir, as from this year, the award criteria for the National Certificate of Education Extended Programme has been amended to include this school-based assessment component. The school-based assessment will be conducted by educators, monitored and moderated by the MES. Technical committees under the leadership of the MES have devised tasks and activities subject-wise for implementation by educators. The evaluation of candidates will be based on these activities. The school-based assessment will carry a weighting of 40%, while 60% of the marks will be based on the end-of-year written assessment for NCE. The criteria for grading is as per the annual programme of this year.
May I ask the Honourable Minister, given that educators working with extended programme students received their booklet only a few days ago, and they have to prepare the EP students for their school-based assessment, when we know that candidates have to devote 2 terms on their project, aren't we penalizing the present 2024 cohort EP students by tardily asking them to prepare for their school-based project only a few weeks before the end of the term?
Mr. Speaker, sir, The teachers have already been briefed, and there were training sessions carried out in April this year. And the school-based assessment is based on practicals and has a continuous assessment process. So teachers have already been engaged in the process earlier. The documents that have been submitted are certain guidelines, certain specimen papers, etc. But the students are being taken care of, and there are no projects for end of year. It's a project that is being done ongoing all the time, and teachers are supposed to be assessing the competencies and the learning outcomes of the student. The school-based assessment is based on learning outcomes, on students' ability to show their critical thinking, and so on and so forth. So the teachers, educators have been made aware a long time back, and they were trained earlier, Mr. Speaker.
May I ask the Honourable Minister to explain how come both the extended program students and the mainstream students who sit for the same NC DT 550 and of your exams be now assessed differently? That is, the EP students will have an additional school-based assessment apart from the end of your assessment for the final grading. Why this additional pressure on these EP students?
Mr. Speaker, sir, the very idea of bringing in a school-based component is to manage to gauge the competencies developed by the students during their schooling. The written paper is the same and has always been the same. Students having passed their NCEP will get an NCEP certificate. Other students, the NC students, will carry on with the written exam only. This additional component is not to make their life more difficult, but to give them the possibility of demonstrating the competencies, skills, and knowledge acquired during their schooling.
Next question. Honourable Leopold. Honourable Lutim.
B452.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the House will recall that on 21st of July 2020, my colleague, the then Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Integration and International Trade, informed the House that the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia had agreed to donate $6 million USD to Mauritius for the purpose of building of new mosques and renovation of existing mosques. Subsequently, at the sitting of 6th April 2021, my colleague, the then Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Integration and International Trade, also informed the House that the Saudi authorities are considering to coordinate with the local stakeholders in Mauritius to determine the nature of the assistance needed by the various mosques before coming up with an appropriate memorandum of understanding. Thereafter, the Mauritian side put forward the proposal for the Islamic Cultural Center to set up a foundation, and a draft MOU was submitted to the Saudi authorities. I wish to inform the House that in June 2022, the Saudi government dispatched an interministerial delegation to Mauritius to conduct a visual assessment of the requirements of the mosques. According to information obtained by our embassy in Riyadh, the report of the said Saudi delegation was finalized and its recommendations submitted to the Royal Court in Saudi Arabia for approval. In March 2023, our embassy in Riyadh requested for an update on the disbursement of the earmarked funds in a series of meetings with high-level Saudi officials. On 7th April 2023, the Royal Consulate of Saudi Arabia in Mauritius sought for an update from my ministry on the status of internal consultations with other relevant stakeholders in Mauritius in view of signing of the MOU on the grant. The House will note that following consultations with the relevant ministries in Mauritius, a revised draft MOU establishing the modus operandi for the disbursement of the funds was prepared and submitted to the Saudi authorities in October 2023. On 14th December 2023, the Royal Consulate of Saudi Arabia in Mauritius submitted an amendment to the draft MOU,
And following the latest consultation between Mauritius and the Saudi authorities as recently as May of this year, we are hopeful to see a positive development. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, may I know from the Honourable Attorney General whether there is any timeline for the finalization of that memorandum of understanding between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the government of Mauritius?
Difficult for me at this stage to set a timeline, Mr. Speaker, sir. I have set out already the chronology. We are proceeding in bilateral discussion with the Saudi authorities, especially concerning the modus operandi for the disbursement of the funds. The principle, le principe est acquis, Monsieur le Président, but we need the MOU concerning the disbursements.
Previous answers to PQs in this House, the government has been consistent that they are proposing the setting up of a foundation under the aegis of the Islamic Cultural Center to monitor the implementation of any funds that is going to be received from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Is that still the plan, to set up a foundation, or is there another mechanism for the disbursement of funds that is being envisaged?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have informed the House that Mauritius had submitted a revised draft to the Saudi authorities in October 2023, following which the Saudi authorities in December proposed an amendment to the MOU. I do not want at this stage to disclose the contents of the bilateral negotiations.
The table has been advised that PQB 482 will be replied by Honourable Minister of National Infrastructure and Community Development. PQB 459, B477, B487, and B455 have been withdrawn. Still some minutes to go. I call Honourable Labine.
B453, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm informed by the Municipal Council of Vakwa Phoenix that cleaning and sweeping of the Vakwa Fair are effected on weekdays and on fair days, that is on Tuesdays and Fridays, and waste generated thereat are carried away either on the same day or on the following day. Presently, there are 4 general workers posted at the Vakwa Fair from 7 a.m. in the morning to 16 hours in the afternoon, and they have been assigned the task of cleaning and sweeping of the Vakwa Fair and its surroundings, including the parking space. I'm further informed that thorough washing of the market of the Vakwa Fair is effected every 3 months, and same was effected on the 22nd of January 2024 and 29th of April 2024. The last exercise was done on the 8th of June 2024 by a private contractor. Besides, rodent control services are effected by a private service contractor, Mr. Pest Limited, on a twice monthly basis. The rodent control service was effected on the 29th of May 2024 at the Vakwa Fair, and the last one was carried out on the 12th of June 2024. I'm informed that the following action are being envisaged by the Council for the enhancement of the hygienic condition at the Vakwa Fair. Firstly, presently, bids received for the purchase of a high-pressure washer is being evaluated, and this will increase the frequency of washing by its in-house labor. And secondly, the frequency of rodent control service will also be increased in the next financial year.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I ask the Honourable Vice Prime Minister whether he's aware of complaints received by users of the Vakwa Market Fair with regards to proliferation of rats and mice, even after works carried out after the 12th of June by the contractor?
Yes, I mean, I don't know, I've not received anything specific like that, but I've just mentioned we are going to increase the frequency of rodent control service. I mean, we're just waiting by next week or the week after, we'll try to do that.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is the Honourable Vice Prime Minister aware that all those rats, mice and rodents in fact, is coming from the bare state lands, just adjacent to the Vakwa Market Fair. Lands that was allocated to do parking spaces for the Vakwa Market Fair. Is he aware of that?
Mr. Speaker, sir, a sum of 3.959 million, that is nearly 4 million rupees, was used for cleaning of all the plots of land, including those pulled down of the pulling down of the abandoned building took place in the vicinity of the market fair. And this has been completed. So we know there may be a problem, and money has been spent on the cleaning, Mr. Speaker, and we are keeping an eye on that as well.
Thank you. So, Honourable Member, I'll be suspending